He's a Contender Series alum. He's a Canadian.
Mike Malott?
He is proper Mike Malott.
All right.
Mike,
well, Mike,
how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling pretty disrespected at a weigh-in show. You guys are stuffing your faces with donuts.
Hey, Paul,
Jeez.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Come on,
hey,
man.
Mike Malott just finished weighing in. We could have offered him donuts, and he lived in Sacramento for a long time. Probably I'd take an American.
You guys
donut.
all know this, but Mike, I'm not a fighter. I haven't fought before. So share with me at what point today you will feel comfortable enough to have a donut.
You can't eat a donut today.
No donuts.
I'm not eating a donut. I'm not eating a donut today, man. I'll eat a donut
after the fight.
I'll eat a donut. I'll eat a donut Sunday or after the fight or something. Look, yeah, love that you guys are repping the Timmys though, but that's
pretty good, right?
Awesome.
But Mike, how do you feel that Paul Felder disrespected Tim Hortons?
No, he did not.
He disrespected Tim Hortons. He disrespected all of Canadia's donuts.
Canada?
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about
Canada? Did you
He
hear that?
disrespected all of Canada.
I didn't hear what he said. I only heard DC saying he wanted some Krispy Kreme rather than some Tim Hortons, man. Those are some fighting words up in Canada. You're lucky you're one of the best fighters of all time, man, because you'd have some pissed off Canadians coming after you otherwise.
My boy Mike Malott, if he opened his shirt, you could tell Mike Malott don't eat donuts hardly ever.
Yeah,
like he ain't eating one on the fight day.
Hey, Mike, you were so giddy during the press conference. You could literally, just smiling ear to ear. What does it mean to you to be here on your home soil? I know it was a long flight from where you are now, but just to be back in Canada representing the UFC, and you're the guy. You're one of the guys on this card repping an entire country.
I'm so proud, man. This really feels like it's our show. Feels like it's our coming home party, our homecoming party. It's been a while since we've had a UFC fight in Canada, and I'm the last guy holding down the fort. I'm the last guy protecting the house. I'm the last guy representing the country. So of course we have an unbelievable co-main event, an unbelievable main event after me. But I feel like for the Canadian MMA community, I'm the main event in that way. So I'm planning on putting on a show, and I felt that energy from the press conference. I can even feel a little bit of the buzz here at weigh-ins. I have more energy than I normally do, just because I feel that love and those good vibes.
Mike, you are a guy that has 2 fights in the UFC career, and I get that we're in Canada, so you're elevated into the 3rd fight from the pay-per-view. Have you allowed for yourself to take it all in, though? Like, man, I know you were excited at the press conference, but have you thought to yourself, wow, I'm on the pay-per-view. I'm only 2 fights in. I was on the Contender Series not long ago. This is going better than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah. Everything's falling into place perfectly. I'm soaking all of this up. I don't feel overwhelmed by this at all. I feel grateful, and I feel like it's not pressure, it's power. I feel like this is rising me up. I don't feel like I just feel so grateful for this opportunity. The UFC could have picked anyone for this slot. This is a valuable slot on a pay-per-view. And I just felt really blessed and grateful that they gave it to me, and I know I'm going to put on a show, and they're going to be glad they gave me this slot.
Mike, when Adam Fugit says publicly, my guy feels, it seems like he thinks he holds the advantage, so he's being a bit more open with his idea of what the fight is. But in reality, him and I are very even. This was good matchmaking by the UFC. He doesn't even feel as much of the underdog as people think he is. What does that make you feel when you hear him saying, hey, I'm not as much of an underdog to this guy as people are trying to act and as he is trying to act?
Doesn't really matter to me what he says, He's a tough guy, dude. He's not a bum. But I've fought tough guys my whole career. I've had big tests early on in my career. I've taken short notice fights against undefeated tough guys. I've fought undefeated guys in the main event on Contender Series. I've come in to fight Mickey Gall, a 10-fight UFC veteran who'd never been knocked out, and I knocked him out in the 1st round. I fought Johan Lainus, who was the champion in CFFC, the organization I was in, then got into the UFC, was 9-1, and knocked a bunch of people out. And I submitted him in the 1st round with only absorbing 1 strike in the full fight. So, sure, he's a solid fighter. He's right. He is a solid fighter. But I've been taking solid guys out in the 1st round my whole career.
So, obviously, you're very confident going into this fight. You think you could take him out in the 1st round. But what other advantages do you think you have over Adam going into this match?
I think I have him covered everywhere. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter. I think he's a good wrestler, good grappler, good striker. I think I'm just better everywhere. I think I'm going to be able to be more of a dog with him, be more of a dog than him if it comes down to that. I have the home home court advantage, and I feel the vibe from my fight community and my country. So I feel like I've got this man covered everywhere.
Mike, we talked to you in the fighter meetings, and you said some really awesome things about how the pressure of fight night, especially fighting here in Canada, knowing that the crowd is going to be roaring for you, you get that nervous energy. And for those that weren't in those meetings, I want you to talk about some of the stuff real quick that you prepped to do so that you could be prepared for that and handle those feelings of fight night throughout training, because I thought that was really fascinating with the cold therapy that you're doing, taking that into the gym. So just kind of let the people at home that are watching the show a little bit about how you did that and mentally got yourself ready for what's going to happen on Saturday night.
I feel like I just turned every possible stone there was. That's why I'm so confident going into this. You know, like I said, I'm going against a tough guy, but I feel like we did everything possible to prepare for this, from the physical training, the obvious stuff, the hit and mitts, the strength conditioning, the sparring, the live rounds, but even just down to like little things. Like you said, there are certain feelings that you have on fight day, and I've tried to emulate those as accurately as possible every day leading up to my fight. So one thing you're talking about is cold exposure every morning, and some other things along with that I don't want to get into too much, but I'm using those to mimic some of the feelings that I've been feeling in fights, and just to make me more familiar with them, so I get comfortable with those feelings every single day before practice. And then I go out and have the best practice, of every, most of my practices were the best practices I've had all camp, and each one was getting better and better and better. So I felt like I was building really well, even with that pressure and even with like creating those deficits for myself.
Proper Mike Malott, 9 first-round finishes in your career, 2 in the UFC. You're trying to go 3 for 3 here in your home country. Good luck, Proper Mike Malott. Looking forward to seeing you go.
Thank you very much.